Good afternoon, everyone. Heavy snows, breaking snow records in May, extremely unusual snows in Finland, across Russia from Irkutsk to Chelyabinsk, also in Scotland, United States, South Dakota breaking all-time snow records for May, California, South Dakota. The Great Lakes still have 100% ice coverage in some areas in May. Agriculture affected, and these people at the global warming protests snowed out. Flurries in May are rare enough, yet getting half a meter of snow, that is record-breaking, and it has been across a lot of the northern hemisphere. We'll take a look at the areas that May snows are breaking records right now. Finland in Kajani. This was the last day of April and the first couple days of May. When snow makes the news in Finland, you know it's something special. Jumping over to Russia, Chelyabinsk, with a few images as we roll through here to Irkutsk. And this is the second instance when media in a country that gets heavy snow all the time is front page news that it's snowing in May. Third instance, front page news, Scotland, winter snow warning hazard. Kino, who does a great job reporting on the weather stations in Colorado, especially Crestone, record snowfall. Now you need to notice the new record is 15.9 inches. But the old record was 3 inches. That is 5 times more than the previous record. Rapid City, also a new record for May in snows. We'll take a look through here. South Dakota, North Dakota also, along with Wyoming, Colorado, all getting a foot to a foot and a half. Now this snowfall is not including the 2 days previous. This is just a single day snowfall total for Sunday, May 10th. I did circle in yellow the spots where there was snow. The Rocky Mountains, Southern Colorado, Monarch Pass. Look how deep that is. And you know, Southern Colorado, they get snow all the time. Ski resorts are there, but this is snow record broken. 16 inches of new snow in 2 days. It's about how deep it is in Edmonton as well in Canada. It was a big swath pushing through. This did affect all the way from Canada further south into the United States. Mammoth, California, also getting huge snow. Snowbrains, check that out. If you're into skiing, they have the latest conditions on all the slope areas that just received these huge snows. And then even in their news, in the ski resort industry news, Mammoth extends season after another 12 to 18 inches of new snow. So even for the ski industry, this is very rare and very unusual. But as any good media would do to downplay it, when we dig into the record books, even a foot of snow a single day in May is not as rare as you think. You know what? It is rare. It smashed all the records by 5 times. Notice where I highlighted in blue, it snowed in Wyoming once, 36 inches in 1922. Great. This is 2015. And all those blue dots you see are where they're reporting record snows across the western United States that has the heaviest snowfall in May in a single day total. This is what it looked like in Wyoming. And when they say, oh, it was just a few inches, okay, there's your few inches visually if you want to reference that in the news and correlate what they say. This is a pull off the Crestone Weather Center. You should visit the site. There's all kind of instrumentation data that you could really dig into. And when you look at the late season cold air, come on, this is almost June. It should not be 24 degrees for the temperatures. Fahrenheit, that is. I'll bring your attention back to Edmonton and Alberta, Canada. They also were on the record end. This is a nice compilation from May 8th, 9th, and 10th of how the snow accumulated over a couple of days. And Fort Robertson in Nebraska picked up the highest snow totals of 2 feet in this storm. These other places you wouldn't expect snow in May. Definitely not in May. Not in Arizona. Flagstaff, that is something red flag right there. When Flagstaff, Arizona is picking up almost 6 inches of snow pushing toward the middle of May, clearly a sign that we are entering some cooling phase right now globally. Rocky High Plains snow, 24 inches possible in South Dakota, travel disruptions. This is the snow depth in Colorado, what it looks like on the trees. This is in South Dakota, Denver, Colorado. This is in the San Bernardino National Forest in California. Few weather maps here to take a look at so you can see where the accumulations are, where it's pushing through. Remember, anything blue is snow. And these temperatures here, Billings, Montana, actually colder than Fairbanks, Alaska, which would be to expected. During the last ice age, Alaska was glacier-free and quite a bit warmer than the mid-latitudes in the United States and the south part of Canada. Some more images here of Big Bear, California. This is Running Springs, California. Somebody had already put their spring and summer garden furniture out covered in snow. Agriculture is going to be affected. Any types of things that are very sensitive to cold that are already in the ground or have already sprouted. This is 100% ice coverage still, where the darker gray going into black is up in that corner of Lake Superior. And one of the funniest stories of all time, not only in Quebec City did it happen, but the global warming protest at the University of Colorado all had snows that didn't cancel the events, but as you can see, all those people that were looking for warm sunny days to chill out in their tents and talk about global warming and CO2 pushing temperatures, you know what? It's not CO2 pushing temperatures, it's our sun that's going into a grand solar minimum that's affecting our Earth. And I did pull a couple screen grabs here from Rolf Weiss, who hosts Ice Age Ahead. Our governments always say there's limits on growth and limits to population and limits to how much our Earth can support for human population. But you know what? We have a lot of high-tech devices and we are underutilizing. 700 million farmers still rely on hand tilling with no irrigation. When we crunch the numbers here, if you look at those 700 million farmers that are only producing 10 quintals, but someone in the United States or different types of places that are mechanized are producing 20,000 on that same exact hectare or acre, however you like to measure it. That is literally a 2,000 times increase in productivity. We need to think about cold weather seed varieties, as well as giving these farmers along the equatorial bands that are currently in underdeveloped countries access to some type of incredibly low interest rate so they can get machinery, non-GMO seeds, and also fertilizers to get this supply chain functioning before we start to lose our crop production. 40 degrees north and above totally go offline like they will in Canada, Russia, China, parts of the United States, and Europe. When those food growing areas go down, what can take its place is the equatorial bands that have been set up for a new growth paradigm to supply our agricultural needs. And the World Development Project shows where the growing zones are. When we look at the little ice age reconstruction, notice where the blue is across the United States and notice where the snows were happening right now. As well, when we match up our temperature anomaly map and the Maunder minimums specifically in the 1680s, notice that whole swath across the United States and Russia and Finland. Look at the blue, a perfect match across everywhere that it's snowing right now in May. That is not coincidence. That is a repeating cycle that we have a record of the previous repeat. Thanks for watching. Hope you got something out of the video. If you like the information, make sure to subscribe to my channel, Adapt 2030.